Welcome back, everybody. We're back for
Hooray!
another round. Hooray! For another round of Warfaire Weekend Invitational. We are now in the semifinals. We only have one more round to stream after this. We have a pretty exciting match coming up. We've got Matt McWaters, who is playing Kador, technically, but playing Kador, even though he only has 2 Kador models across the entire list, versus Brandon Owens, who's playing Crucible Guard. So let's go ahead and take a look at the players. There they up right now.
Josh.
We'll let the players know they are good to go ahead and start.
Give them a handshake to start things off.
Yeah, let's go ahead and real fast talk about the list that they've decided to play. So a few of us were looking at their lists, and we were trying to guess what they were going to play, and we kind of guessed correctly that it was going to be Silvestro 1 versus Zerkova 1. So Brandon is playing Magnum Opus. He's got Silvestro with a Liberator, Retaliator, and Suppressor in his battle group. He also has Alice. He has the Hermit of Henchhold. He has Prospero, who's got a Retaliator in his battle group, a pair of Trancers, a pair of Dragon's Breath Rockets, a maximum unit of Steelhead Halberdiers with Dr. Alejandro Mosby, and 2 Railless Interceptors.
Okay.
That's going up against Matt McWaters' Flames in the Darkness list being led by Zerkova 1. It's got a Gallant and a Lancer in her battle group, a pair of Thamrite Archons, a pair of Morrowind Archons, Grandmaster Gabriel Throne, Alexia 2, the Hermit of Henchhold, Ragman, a unit of Vigilance, which were at this show. I think they were out before as well, if I'm not mistaken, the Vigilance, the Order of Illumination Vigilance.
Yeah, they released a week or 2 ago.
Yep. A maximum unit of Precursor Knights with UA, and Savio Acosta. So his other list, let's real fast, Matt's other list was a Wars of the Old Faith being led by Vlad 3, and Brandon's other list was a Gearhart Prima Materialist that I found really interesting, that the one he's not playing.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
It's a Prima Materialist with Gearhart 1, a Vulcan, but it's got 5 Vanguards in it.
Yes.
And they shield guard twice. And so we looked at it and we're like, well, you're not playing that. After we were talking.
I would say that Silvestro has been kind of Brandon's primary caster.
Well, yeah,
in general. Anyway, without this kind of specialized list that Gearhart is.
When we were looking at the list, we very quickly assumed Gearhart was for the Kara Sloan Infernals matchup.
Sure.
10 shield guards, and then you just let the Vulcan do work.
Right.
And after they had chosen, we kind of asked them about it, and they both agreed. They confirmed that's exactly what the Gearhart list exists for.
Right.
So let's also really quickly look at the scenario that they'll be playing in this one. Tony, slap that bad boy on the screen. We've got Recon 2. So 2 zones, controllable by jacks, battle engines, and casters. 2 flags at the corners, controllable by solos and casters. And then 2 objectives. Both players chose healing as their objective.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite scenarios in War Machine. Full stop.
Okay.
I think it's just a fun, pretty well-balanced scenario. It does its job of encouraging the forces to engage each other. Mm-hmm. And so it's one that I enjoy playing.
Good. I'm glad I have your approval.
I'm glad you do as well.
The sassiness begins immediately. So, let's do some, let me take my jacket off here and get comfy.
Getting personal with Hungerford.
I'm just getting comfortable.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily personal. So let's talk about the matchup a little bit. Zerkova 1's feat is obviously strong into the shooting power that Crucible Guards typically bring. Her feat is going to basically shut down.
Let's go ahead and give a read on that feat.
For people that aren't familiar, go ahead and read out what the feat does.
So while in Zerkova's control range, enemy models cannot make range attacks.
Full stop.
Yeah,
you just can't do it.
Enemy models beginning their activations in Zerkova's control range cannot run, charge, make power attacks or special attacks, give or receive orders, or make special actions. Howling Winds lasts for 1 round.
Yeah. So the back end of that feat, very powerful, very strong. The first line of that feat into a traditionally very ranged, strong list is amazing, right? You don't shoot.
So for the Silvestro list, some of the things to watch for. Mm-hmm. One of the units it's kind of not a huge point investment, the Steelhead Halberdiers plus Dr. Alejandro are 15 points, but Dr. Alejandro, in my opinion, is one of the faction-defining models that's available in Crucible Guard, and he makes it so that the Halberdiers are going to be tough to remove, and then once they attack, they can get a lot of work done.
Yeah, he's got those different sort of like options, the type of drugs he can give them, one of which makes them 4+ tough and very, very difficult to remove.
Another thing to watch for in this list with the Crucible Guard list is I know that one of the things that Brandon likes to do is Silvestro. One of his spells is Transmutation. So Transmutation can give target enemy model / unit. If you're doing it friendly, it can give +2 strength or defense.
Yeah.
But if it's offensive, it's -2 strength and defense.
But also it affects Pathfinder as well.
It does.
So it gives Pathfinder friendlies and it takes Pathfinder away.
One of the things I know that Brandon likes to do in this list is cast that Transmutation offensively, and then the Relic Interceptors, who don't have a boosting mechanic and are Rat 6, kind of effectively become Rat 8, which is a lot more potent and dangerous.
Absolutely. Looking at their armies, just the actual models themselves, both are painted beautifully. Brandon's army in particular, it uses color shift paints, so that may not translate particularly well on camera, but when you see it in person, it definitely has this eerie quality to it where you get this real sort of like 1980s Miami Vice techno vibe going on, and I think it's really cool looking. So let's do our early game predictions. I predict that JVM will not clock in this game.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Which was my prediction last game, and I was technically right, but for the wrong reasons. Who do you think has the slight advantage in this one, if anybody?
That's a good question. So I've seen a fair bit of Magnum Opus with Silvestro. I haven't had a chance to see much Flames with Zerkova 1. So I'm pretty excited to see that in the matchup. As far as which one has the advantage, I'm not sure. I would maybe give a slight advantage to Matt, but I don't know.
I mean, the main advantage I'm seeing here is Zerkova 1's feet.
Yeah.
That is a very, very potent ability into this army in particular.
We should note that one of the options that the battle engines will have is that when Zerkova moves up some feats, they can scoot a little bit out of the control area and still do their range attacks.
They can, yes.
So that's one option that they might be considering.
But that allows you a lot of scenario pressure if you put it in such a position that they have to back away from these zones of the flag.
It's true.
In order to be able to take any sort of shots.
This is the list we talked about last game, to the 2 lists where Matt has also taken advantage of the new Archon solos.
Yeah.
So this list obviously has 2 Thamorite Archons and 2 Morrowind Archons.
Yeah.
And then Vlad 3 in his other list has 2 Menite Archons.
Yeah, he has 2 of every Archon he can possibly bring with these lists, basically.
Yep. I'm getting 2 of every Archon that you guys are releasing.
Yes.
And I'm trying to figure out what are some of the best lists where I can try to cram in as many Archons as possible into one list.
Oh, okay. I was going to say the best list that you can run with any Archons, but it's not all of them.
Right.
Is Helga...
It's impossible to do
all of them.
All of them.
Yeah, well,
because
yes.
There's animosity with the Menite Archon
and
the Morrowind and Thamorite.
Yeah, I believe so. So turn is passing back to Matt. But the best list you could possibly run that uses any Archons is Helga 1 with Void Archons. Because you feat, the Void Archon punches something, slams it, then teleports to it, then sprays.
Seems okay.
The threat range on it is amazing. Now, that's just very good. Alternatively, for fun, the Primal Archon under Helga 1's feet punches something, slams it, then you put down the 4-inch AoE over the model you slammed and knock down everything under that AoE, basically getting to zip out the AoEs. So, pro tip, minions, as always, one of the strongest factions in the game, have some of the best interactions with Archons. Surprisingly, no one playing them here in the Warfare weekend.
I have actually been, so kind of the two lists that I've been looking at.
Yeah.
One is a Drake McBain list, where I'm taking the Thammarite and the Morrowind Archon, and he can feed on them
and keep them around forever.
Keep them around.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm looking at. I am looking at minions options, and it's will work for food. Lets you take Dunian, Primal, and Void. Is that correct?
Yes, with Rask is where you want to go with that, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I think
basically a variation of the Super Friends.
Yeah, I think the Helga 1 has actually some really good interactions. But if your goal is to jam all the Archons, Rask Super Friends with all the Archons is legitimately good.
Yeah. So we've actually got some attacks coming in.
I believe this is Vigilance walking up and taking some pot shots at the one of the jacks.
I think it's the Retaliator that's going on.
That makes sense.
Actually, in the Lancer, it's moving up.
You know who else is what else is a fun list to run Voids in?
I do not.
Not as powerful as Helga 1, but there's some Cephalix builds with Voids, specifically Exelon Thexus, that I think can be very exciting. And I am excited that Cephalix are getting a new Warcaster attachment when Dr. Stygius, the Riot Quest model, comes out.
Yeah.
He's a Warcaster attachment that he's going to have Spell Slave, which is very good for the free TK or for Breath Stealer off of Cognifax Siphon. He also has an ability that gives all monstrosities within a range of him one focus, which for monstrosities, that's huge because they work like little focus batteries. They don't power up like normal. And that's going to be a really big deal. And I think Voids can be a lot of fun. That's the cool thing about the Archons is seeing them in all these other lists and the power they bring to each.
So we're going to see a little interaction here that's a little bit lawler sauce. That's a technical term.
That is a pro term?
Yeah.
What you got?
So normally Zerkova doesn't have access to an Arc node. And so she has an ability that is called the Lens of Tarvod.
Yes, that makes her spells +5 range.
+5 range, yes. So Matt ran the Lancer so that it was 15 inches away from that Retaliator. And I believe we're going to see a Hex Blast coming through from 15 inches away.
Yes.
And touching that Retaliator with that spell. So
it's pretty good.
Fun times.
It's pretty good.
Dulu says, are there any upcoming Crucible Guard models to be released?
None that I can talk about at this time.
Okay. One thing that I do like about both players so far is that both of them on these first rounds are going doing their turns pretty quickly.
They are. Maybe we'll get one of those games that doesn't go to time.
Maybe, yeah.
Then you and I can go to the food stand and enjoy some chicken fingers.
Ooh, boy.
You get free barbecue sauce.
Okay.
As much as you want, Jay.
Okay. How long have they been under the heat lamp?
Years.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't say it was good. I just said it was there.
Well, obviously, it is no PF Chang's.
Oh, God. That statement is correct.
So we've got a little bit of a lull in the action, which seems like a great opportunity to give the people what they demand.
Is it happening again?
It's happening again, yes.
This is my hell.
So I love this one so much. It is so esoteric.
Hit me with it.
So first of all, it's one of my favorite memes. One of my favorite memes of all time is the man who is with his girlfriend and he's looking over his shoulder
At the other lady?
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a fantastic meme. And since this is a Dank Dune meme version of this meme, this is kind of out there.
Okay.
But it's great. Okay, so the man looking back is Leto II. And his original girlfriend, who's looking at him like, what are you doing?
Right.
Okay, that's Duncan, Idaho.
Okay.
And the woman that he's looking over his shoulder at, longingly, is also Duncan, Idaho. It's so good. It's such a good meme. Such a good meme.
I have nothing to say to this. I have no response.
Have you read God Emperor of Dune?
No, see, that's the funny part about these to me, Jay. I've never read Dune.
Oh my god.
So these dank Dune memes that you keep reading to me, I have I know about it, right? I know about the series to some degree, but I've never read the full series.
Okay.
So, some of
Oh,
them...
in fairness, you shouldn't read the full series.
Wow. So some of them you read to me, and I just sit there, and I'm like, if you somebody walk in and be like, dude, I have this straight-up calculus meme you got to hear. But I'm going to show you the visual. I'm going to read it to you. And I just sit here on the official company stream while this happens to me. Back to the action. We see that Matt McWaters is wiggling back and forth.
As one does. So Matt finished his turn at 15 minutes, 30 seconds.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Very nice.
Didn't feat, which is to be expected, I believe.
Yeah, I would hope not.
But that does mean that Brandon's going to be able to start doing some work on this round.
That would be absurd if he's top of 1 feet back here. What's happening?
Got him.
Got him. You just do it to tilt your opponent, and they'd be like, what are you doing? So yesterday we had a pretty deep lore conversation after hours between myself, Brent Simon was there for a bit, Travis Marg, Adam Olenslager.
Yeah.
And we were talking kind of along the lines of a common conversation, which is the average life of a soldier in the IK and the nonsense they have to put up with.
Okay.
But we took it to the next level of Trollkin scouts.
Okay.
And being like, all right, boys, you see those 2 tanks? And over there's a dragon? And they're like, yes, sir. I'm like, go get it. And when Trollkin Scouts is like, I have a pig. You want me to go assault a dragon with a pig? This then led to just the pig becoming a character and how we want to make a comic strip about Squealy, the nihilistic IK pig. And all it is 3 comic panels of him in situations in the Iron Kingdoms. And he basically dies every comic strip as he's just running around the battlefields in these absurd situations. For example, a bunch of drug-using chemical terrorists, like we see here, versus...
who might weaponize homeless, potentially?
Who weaponize whatever they can get their hands on.
Okay.
Fighting against a bunch of holy crusaders between 2 religions that fought each other, and there are literally angels on the battlefield. So imagine Squealy, the nihilistic IK pig, is just wandering through this, and he's like... There's no safe place to stand, right? You're either getting smited by holy fire or hosed down with something that turns you inside out. IK is a living nightmare. It's one of those settings you would never want to live in real life.
That seems true.
And that's how you fill time while someone's in the tank.
Brandon he has his proxy out, looking at where he's potentially going to end up moving his battle engine up, and then the battle engine will do his attacks, and then it's going to end up repositioning backwards.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Brandon's definitely in the tank right now because this is a very important turn. He's got to figure out what to start plinking away at. You got to take care of those angels. You can't just let them go. Also, we see the other semifinal game going on between Mark, who was on stream last game, and what is his opponent playing? Ret. That's right, Retribution.
Ben Beckman playing Gareth 2 and Assyria.
Do you know if he's playing Gareth 2 or Assyria on that table? But it's not important if we don't know. I was just curious if we knew off the top of our
I
heads.
don't know.
Okay.
Looking at what models he has there, I'm going to... Actually, I can't say.
Okay. Sounds good. So our finals then are Mercs, Retribution, Kador, and Crucible Guard.
Are you doing air quotes on that, Kador?
Nope.
Okay. So one thing I can give you the hard questions on, again, Will.
I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay. So one of the common complaints that I've heard from rep players lately is that they feel like it's kind of the Haley 2 problem of Signar and Mark II, where they have one caster that's kind of propping up the faction. They kind of feel that they are, if they're wanting to be competitive, that they are kind of shoehorned into playing Gareth 2.
Okay.
Do you feel like that's the case for rep players, or do you feel like there's things that they can be exploring?
Okay, so the answer is there's things they can be exploring. Obviously, Gareth 2 and Tridents have come out of the gate as a very, very strong option. However, I don't think we're at a point with any faction where any part of the meta has been solved. The Oblivion remix has mixed things up. The Archon models have mixed things up. I would say at the moment, yeah, your safe bet is to probably bring Gareth 2, but also at the moment, you might want to just be testing out and experimenting with other things, seeing which way the meta goes, which way things change. So I don't think you could just say that's the case and that's that, because I think that's very short-sighted to do. I think things will continue to evolve as time goes, and we'll see where things go.
Okay.
But I will also say that Retribution is a faction that we're keeping an eye on to see what needs to be propped up and that what needs to be possibly toned down. But as I mentioned in all the previous streams, when it comes to balance updates, really rather bring low performers up than keep playing whack-a-mole at the top. Okay, we just got word that the second table playing right now is Assyria versus Osram. So we're just talking about Gareth 2 being the only option, and we find out Assyria is being played in the semifinals of the Invitational. So that's a good example of, sometimes you got to take different choices and do different things.
So let's do a little telestrator here. So this model here is obviously the suppressor. And of these 3 models,
yes,
2 of them are retaliators and one's a liberator. But I'm having a little bit of a hard time figuring out which one is the liberator. Do you think it's the back one?
I think it is the back one, and
it might be the one up by the suppressor. I'm not sure yet. But our man on the street, Tony, is going to go find out for us, and we'll give you the update.
Let's take a look at the other angle we have available to us.
That's got an axe there, so it's not that one. That might be his spear for his arc node.
I think that has to be his spear.
Yeah, so these are going to be the 2 retaliators, and they do have some abilities that come in handy in this matchup. So to give a quick interaction, Zerkova 1, she has a spell called Freezing Mist where she places out 3-inch AoE clouds that are completely within her control range. Then
the Liberator has Etheric Blast, which is one of its spray types, which removes any cloud effects that it overlaps.
Did you say the Liberator or the Retaliator?
Oh, sorry, I meant Retaliator. Yeah, the Retaliator has Etheric Blast, which removes any cloud effects that it overlaps.
It does 3 shots. One of them is It gets rid of cloud effects. The other one is that it does oil, which makes fire damage rolls boosted. That one's not going to matter as much in this matchup. And then the last one does grievous wounds.
Yeah, which might be useful.
Yeah.
Especially with Alejandro. Not Alejandro. What does he have that actually is going to give out any sort of tough on his side? Oh, he's got Grandmaster Gabriel Throne, so that will matter. The other thing about the Etheric Blast, though, is there's the cloud terrain feature, the dense fog in the middle of the board. Mm-hmm. It would get rid of that. And the rough terrain that's on fire, burning earth hazards are also cloud effects. If that spray overlaps either one of those terrain features, it removes the terrain feature.
Boom.
So he can remove 1/4 of the terrain on the board.
That's just science. So we have a request from Dorian G. Clampett. He says,
DGC?
Can we try to convince Hungerford to make a John Madden impression?
I have to have access to the Telestrator to do that, which I don't have.
Oh,
so,
man.
Sorry. But I mean, I could be like, the way you win the game is to destroy their army and then kill their caster. But sometimes you can't kill their caster, so you win on scenario. But don't forget about clock. That's an option
So
too.
I think it's interesting. We did see his caster Silvestro go and has done his feat.
Yeah, feet is up.
That's why you've been seeing him rolling 3 dice. He's going to be rolling 3 dice, and he gets to pick which one he keeps. So if he's doing crits, that will help with that.
Yeah, it's basically super signs importance, a form of roulette almost.
Yeah, so it is fairly common to, as the Silvestro player, to feed early. He's generally trying to get as strong of an alpha strike as possible.
Yes.
And using it now, he's going to not have to worry about Zerkova's feet either.
Mm-hmm. Because we talked about earlier, Zerkova's feet, if it shuts down his army, it in effect also shuts down Silvestro's feet, because there's no point in using it if you can't shoot.
And I believe now that they've said that Matt has been 3 for 3 on his tough checks with the precursors.
Well,
as one does.
You know.
They flipped over, and he was deciding whether or not to do a shield guard, I believe.
Maybe we should give him D3 tough checks.
Ooh, yeah.
So we do have a Skater template that went down from one of the shots. And Brandon is just going off this turn. He's just going to be making the gun line shoot all the way through.
Another tough on the blast damage. No damage on this one. On the one in back and one in front is also fine.
Okay. The Steelheads haven't activated yet, and I am interested to see where they end up.
Yeah.
Like, you can't are you just going to run up and try and jam the Archons? You have Gallant.
So now you're seeing the battle engine reposition back as it finishes its turn.
Yeah.
And he's figuring out where he wants to go with
the next one. Yeah.
The next one.
But with the Steelheads, where do you think he's going with those? Like, are you just trying to jam out the bottom zone to some degree, or are you going to hold them back and just have them like surround the flag? Because you've got a Thamorite, which the Thamorite will just chew through infantry if it can. Morrowind, you got Grandmaster Gabriel Throne down there. Like, you have some hard hitters in the bottom zone.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to end up happening with that.
Yeah. I imagine that's what he wants to use them for, though, is to try and secure that bottom zone. But we'll see.
We've got 2 dead that were already knocked down, and then 1 is tough.
Yeah, these Rayless Intercessors are just doing work against the Precursor Knights, just chewing through the infantry that Matt has brought. Like, Matt is just removing handfuls of infantry at a time.
They're figuring out on the Explosivo follow-up blasts if they're going to get shield wall after some of them have been removed.
Okay, let's pull it up.
I think the question is if some have died on the initial shot, and then after that, the Explosivo goes off.
Yeah. So Explosivo's target friendly factions model gains damage type module. If the affected model directly hits and boxes an enemy model with an attack from a ranged weapon, center a 3-inch AoE on the box model, then remove it from that model from play. Models in the AoE are hit and suffer an unboostable POW 8 magic blast. I don't see what the problem is. You hit, you boost, those guys die, then you put down the AoEs, and that occurs after.
Okay.
Yeah, you remove the model from play, then you have the AoE down, then they do POW 8s. So if that broke up the shield wall, they wouldn't have shield wall benefit from that. All right, this is the Explosivo, and that just chews through more guys. So that was the left intimidator shot from that realist. Now the right one's going off.
Needing an 8 to hit, misses. Against the Lancer, needs a 7 and gets it. Five damage to the 6 on the Lancer.
Man. Now come the fire sprays.
Goes for Ragman. Gets it. Sends it to the Archon. Might not be able to. We're checking.
Yeah, I don't think you can. No, wait.
So it has to be a non-incorporeal living model. The Archon is not a living model.
That doesn't. Hold on. Let's pull up some stuff. This is why we have our rules in front of us, so that we don't say things that are wrong, even though we still will. Yeah, the first line of Divine Manifestation is this model is not a living model.
Yep.
And
Nailed it.
That rule went through a lot of iterations.
Right,
and,
yeah.
And so I just wanted to make 100% sure.
So he's got 3 guys that he's going at after the direct hit.
So
the blasts don't do damage.
The real question is, should Matt have feeded bottom of 1?
I don't know.
Probably
not. I mean, he could have. I think he could have likely stayed outside of the feat range enough.
Sure. So this is just the repo move from the tank.
Yep. So Brandon's been trying to move pretty expeditiously, and I think he's been doing a fairly good job of that. But you'll notice that he is still down to 37 minutes. But on a turn like this, I think that that's actually kind of to be expected.
Yeah, you've got a lot. You're making all your attacks. They're all meaningful. You're under feet. You want to get as much done as you possibly can. You don't even have to really resolve any steelhead attacks, right? You just sort of just run them in the way, and then that's time that Matt has to spend dealing with them.
Right. One of the comments that Sovereign Salt said is, how's he used this much time? As you've noticed, it's not like he's been slow playing or...
No, he's been playing quickly, efficiently, and that every minute has been effective.
And this is actually something, if you are a good Silvestro player, that you have to be practiced at, because, as I said before, he does have kind of a front-loaded game, and you have to be effective at getting that alpha strike and not taking too long on it, or else you're exposing yourself to losing the game.
So, Lights walks up, a couple more precursors go. You can kind of...
That one would be the Retaliator.
Yeah. And we basically see Matt's infantry.
He's going to have at the end of it, he's going to have Archons and Jacks, kind of.
Yeah, and his caster.
Yeah.
And Gabriel Throne.
Right.
Matt's infantry has just been
Melted.
deleted.
Yeah.
It's just gone. Which means that jamming up this gun line now is really hard. I mean, you can throw Archons up there, but then they just get chewed apart by his Steelheads, which he may then hang back for that very purpose.
Do you happen? This has been quite a ways back at this point, but I'm curious which of the 3 abilities that Silvestro has that he ended up doing. I'm assuming it must have been the free spell, because it doesn't seem like he needed super fuel to get his constructs going farther, and I don't see a cloud effect down there protecting him.
Yeah, I don't see a cloud effect protecting him with super stealth.
I'm not sure how much.
I think he's camping 1.
Yeah, how much he's camping. It could potentially open up the possibility of a spell assassination where he didn't put that super stealth cloud down on him. Might be a little bit difficult for Zerkova to get enough damage out doing that, though.
Yeah. So he's keeping Prospero safe back behind behind the little wall.
Prospero's running a Retaliator.
Yeah. A couple Trancers just getting into a good position to be able to so the Trancers in particular, if the Archons try and run up and jam up anything, you do have Trancers. Trancers are scary, man. Trancers
Trancers are great. They're one of my favorite parts of playing Crucible Guard.
Yeah.
One of the San 20 Go, he says, no, I'm sure he has the cloud out. The issue is that we don't see a cloud around his caster.
Yeah. Unless they just put the token down and agreed they didn't need it. So here we see the Steelheads going in. And the Steelheads are rushing forward.
They are rushing forward.
And they're going to be buffed up by Alejandro, so they're going to be particularly hard to get rid of.
I'm guessing might have mini-feeded.
I would imagine.
So San 20 Go asked, what would he have cast the spell through? So right here is what we believe is going to be his Arc Node. These are his 2 Retaliators. So he would have likely ended up getting something cast through here, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So
now going to the Bomba 2.
I think Brandon just scored
Nothing, because that was the top.
Oh, that was
of
top.
one.
That was top. That wasn't top of 1.
Totally was.
Top of 1?
Sorry, top of 2.
There's no way it was top of
It's
1.
not
Jay.
top of 1. It's top of 2.
Top of 2. Okay.
Still not scoring.
Still not scoring.
That was
I was like, this is a hell of a top of 1. What has happened to War Machine?
Hey, Tony. We're having a little bit of a debate. Can you try to find out which one of those abilities Brandon ended up doing last round?
Yes. Get it. So those little AoE directional markers you see, don't forget those are scathers
Those
that
are
are down.
scathers, yeah. Okay, he did do Impenetrable Haze. He just doesn't have the cloud
Okay.
AoE out there.
Yeah, super stealth's up.
So Vengeance is kicking in.
On 5 models.
We would say, if you look at the Flames of the Darkness benefits, if you look at the bottom of Matt's list, he says that he has Vengeance on Stuff.
Yeah, stuff being a stream appropriate version of what's happening here. So, but yeah, he gets Vengeance, which triggered all kinds of times. But let's see, he's got it on literally what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 models. Yeah, I think actually 5 models.
Vengeance is resolved now.
Yeah. God, he got dropped down to that many infantry. Well, he needs to do some work this turn. Big time.
One thing interesting to note on the Scather templates,
Yes.
the way that it's worded is models without immunity corrosion entering or ending their activations in the AoE suffer 1 point of corrosion damage.
Yes.
And so if this had said if you advance and enter or end, advance in and end there, whatever,
Yeah.
then they could have taken a point of damage. But they stayed in the Scather. It's not their activation, so they're not going to take the point of damage.
Correct.
So it was just fine for them to be...
To wiggle around in there.
Yes.
Yeah, just to do a little dance.
Would have still been a problem if they were outside and they
moved in.
entered.
Yeah, of course.
But they started in, moved up 3 inches within it, and did not take a point of damage because it was not
An activation.
an activation.
War Machine is a deep game with a lot of rules interactions.
Does have
and,
a lot of rules interactions.
And those are some of the fun ones you find out.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look at the player cam just so we can see the other game happening right there.
Matt's talking to himself as well a little bit right now. He's saying that he's going to be feeding, which everyone expected.
Yes.
And for those who don't know, Brandon Owens does post a fair bit on some of the various Facebook groups.
Mm-hmm.
You will not see him under the name of Brandon Owens.
He goes by Juris.
Yep.
Yeah. Juris, right?
Yeah, Juris Aquitus, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
I've actually been talking to him a lot recently on the Discord channel.
Okay.
Because there's a War Machine Hordes Discord channel, and part of it is subgroups for the other games we make, and the Riot Quest subgroup.
Yeah, he's been a big fan of Riot Quest.
Yeah, the Riot Quest has been, the reception here at Warfare Weekend has been awesome, and he played in the Riot Quest Throwdown event we ran. He almost went undefeated. But him and I often talk in the Discord and chit-chat about Riot Quest and other things.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Sovereign Salt has the question, Hungerford, what is the Discord?
I believe if you go to the War Machine subreddit, you can find a link to the Discord. Also, if anybody in chat wants to link it. But it's pretty easy. If you just search for War Machine Discord channel, you should be able to find it on Google or in Reddit.
He's not yet, I don't think.
Okay, so Matt's going in with...
Looks like one of the Morrowind Archons has already gone in.
Let's take another look here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we got going in.
There's 13 boxes remaining on that battle engine after the Weapon Master Church.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Look at all these angels just float around the battlefield.
So many angels.
Angels fighting tanks. War Machine. War Machine. Angels fighting tanks. Oh no, a werewolf, a dragon. Angels fighting tanks. That's a pig riding a man. Angels fighting tanks. Please get me off the planet. Angels fighting tanks. Riot Quest makes sense. Angels fighting tanks. Sorry, I'm done.
That's good. It's going to have to bust out another Dink Dune meme here shortly to cleanse the ears if that kept going on.
Of Angels versus Tanks?
Yeah.
The hot single from the War Machine narrative?
I believe this is Gabriel Throne going in.
That song came to mind because we posted the Helga 2 render.
Right.
And it seemed like 95% of people were like, hell yeah. And a couple people were like, is this going too far? Is Helga on a motorcycle too far? And I just want the Angels versus Tanks theme song to start playing.
I would maybe say that Helga, that one's not the too far. I do question your character Agonizer.
The Terrorizer?
Yeah.
The other thing is, remember, Riot Quest is non-canonical. It's cartoon stuff, right?
Sure, but you're still going to see it on the War Machine table.
We already had that with Mini Crate. You already had Butcher Claws running around with Mini Crate, right?
That's true. We're already so far down the slippery slope that we might as well.
Also, we have angels fighting tanks.
Forged of Soul says Angels versus Tanks now featuring
Leadfoot and Treads. Dude, Leadfoot and Treads is amazing.
Yeah, they are.
All right.
So one of the...
This is, I think, the Precursionite unit going into one of the lights in the middle of the field.
Okay. One of the benefits that...
yeah, that is
that's a dead jack.
Yeah.
One of the benefits that the mini-feeded halberdiers have is there was a tough check on Gabriel Throne.
Yes.
But they were tough and not knocked down, which I hear
is pretty good.
Is everyone's favorite ability.
It's an ability.
It is an ability. I saw Fate on this.
I think this is a Vigilant, like a lone surviving Vigilant.
Oh, hello.
Just boxcarring into one of the tanks.
Does 5 points down to 8 boxes left on that battle engine now.
All right, so it looks like the Thamorite Archon he's considering activating, the one that's in the trench, because that's an angel with a bow in a trench, fighting drug-induced dudes in full plate with halberds.
Ready to roll max fun of one shot on a D3. I'm calling it here.
Yeah. No, so he's actually looks like he's going to activate.
Get the Lancer into position.
We can hear the player mics, and he was talking about the Thamorite Archon.
So Alexia's looking at getting a Risen created so that it can then go up and get on the flag and start scoring that flag.
Yep.
Or it might actually be charging in. So he's going to be putting out multiple of those Risen. Probably get 2 that are charging.
Yep.
And probably 1 that's going onto the flag, I'm guessing.
I would imagine so, yes.
Looks like we'll have 1 that'll fit in there. I'm guessing the other one might go on the other battle engine. Matt just says that's not ideal.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt's definitely in the tank for a second, trying to figure out exactly how he wants to handle this activation.
So Iris of Hollyhock says, were there any ideas too crazy that they were rejected for Riot Quest? I'm pretty sure that Chuck Dogwood is proof that the answer to that's no.
Chuck Dogwood is one of the least crazy things in Riot Quest. Yeah. Like, Chuck Dogwood actually had a lot of support. Like, he's just a crazy, deranged druid. Trust me, there are far weirder things. Yes. The classic War Machine exercise of planking with lasers. And both of them are done.
So the people demand some Chuck Dogwood rule spoilers.
Oh?
Yes.
Okay. That's cool.
Do you have any that you can slide out to us?
He's a black-clad solo. He's a circle model, not a minion.
Okay.
He's about teleportation shenanigans.
Okay.
I can tell you that he has ways of teleporting himself and others.
Nice.
Including enemies.
Not sure that's nice.
He's got to bop them.
So Matt is bringing out Alexia. Looks like he's doing the activations on the solos now.
That was a damage roll. Just trip 6s and a 3 off the solo charge, and that is a no longer an existing
will
tank.
happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a thrall charge into the tank. That tank only had like 6 left, though.
Yeah.
So the other thrall's charging the other railless interceptor. Hits it because it's defense tank.
I'm not sure if this was accident by Matt or not, but he didn't reposition Alexia 2. I believe she has reposition.
Yeah, she's a cav model.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other thrall she made is just going to on the flag.
So that one's going to the flag. That right, Archon.
For those of you in Twitch chat or right now asking for the full list of everything that's being played in the War Machine Weekend Invitational, we do want to thank Zosha Simpson, who has been putting them all on Conflict Chamber. We are providing links in the Twitch chat as we speak. You can go find them there. And if you're watching this later on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook right now,
I believe she has them listed in the War Machine and Hordes General Facebook group as well.
I believe so. And you will also be able to find them on Conflict Chamber later on as well. Let's see, what is Matt doing at the moment? Okay, there's a judge call.
Checking to see if...
I'm trying to see what Matt is actually activating right now and what the judge call is.
Yeah, they're doing something with stationary.
Okay, so the Hermit has been hit and made stationary by...
Things. So,
oh, this is the Thamorite Archon.
yeah.
The Thamorite Archon on the bottom is shooting.
Bringing up that model in War Room.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the stationary came from.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about it. We know that it occurred. Actually, I have an idea. Let me pull up my war room. Let me pull up this, and let me look at something real fast. I have to wonder. So the only thing I can think of that is stationary would be a crit hit from a Frost Hammer off of Zerkova.
Huh.
That's the only thing I think in Matt's army that does stationary. So perhaps that happened. Let's do a top-down look real quick, and let's actually spot where Zerkova is.
So we've killed 2 of the models in the unit of the Dragon Breath rocket, and now he's takes out that model. It's going to advance and do a melee attack.
So I think we see where Zerkova is at. She's where all the focus tokens are on the far right. Hanging out back there. Her Lancer is not in a position where she could have arced through it. I don't see any other arcs. So we're going to call it a mystery as to how the Hermit is stationary. I Oh, you know what it might have been?
I don't.
I think the Thamorite Archon death-drivered Alejandro, who walked over and punched the Hermit and made him stationary.
Okay, that'll do it.
That has to be what it. Okay, that is the literal only interaction on this table because the Frosthammer had no angle because obviously that spray's not going to get there. Yes, that has to be it.
Yeah, he had mentioned that there was that he was doing stuff with Alejandro.
So now we know Alejandro is A, dead, and B, the Hermit is gone.
So he's checking out if he can get his Archon within 4 to contest the flag.
He can.
And then move over and start applying the beats.
So he's going to trigger Admonition now. Admonition is on the heavy.
Which is a suppressor, which is the spray.
Squirty Fists.
Okay, that's one thing to call him.
That was his old playtest name.
Okay.
Because he's got hoses on his hands and he just sprays you down with chemicals and they're connected to his fists.
Okay.
So Matt's Hermit is going to run 10 inches.
Goes up next to the objective. So with the telestration here, this is Rakova right here. I'm not certain what the model next to her is.
Well, looking at his list real fast, we can probably sort that out.
Figure this out.
That is a miniature made by. That is the Precursor Knight UA.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's the standard bearer. I was going to say that's a
key
miniature
in this
made.
matchup.
Huh? Key in this super key in this matchup. It's a miniature made by Privateer Press. I hope.
Putting out some clouds.
Yep, and there's a proxy base that was representing the heavy that was there. So for ease of having the AoEs be accurately represented, they just removed the model.
So Matt had fewer models, it feels like, to activate this round.
Yeah.
He's going to probably end his turn a little bit under 30 minutes, which is not awful. I don't think that he's necessarily in danger of losing on time, as the turns will accelerate as it goes on.
Yeah.
But it does seem like Brandon did a little bit better job playing with some time urgency than Matt did.
Yeah. I don't think Zerkova has gone yet, has she?
I think that's what she's doing now. I think she's going to be charging in. Considering charging in.
Yeah, I think he's planning on feeding and then charging the tank.
He's trying to figure out if that's safe for him to do or not. So he's looking at widening his charge angle.
As long as the charge would, on an infinite line, bring him into melee with his target.
Right. So he stays outside of the super fuel range.
All right, so Zerkova 1 feats, and she charges.
Fells her charge.
She takes 2 Scather points on the way in. So just enjoy that damage.
Boom, boom. It's going to make all the difference. Out goes the feat token. It's the end of the round, and Matt scores 1.
Yeah, he scores 1 off his own flag, and Brandon scores none, as his flag is now contested.
Yes.
And obviously both zones, super contested.
Super contested.
Super contested.
Forge of Soul says, Prospero 2 for Riot Quest, full Warcaster for Crucible Guard and Cirrus. Go ahead and make that happen, please.
I'll get right on it. I was going to release it at this show, but for every dank Dune meme I've been read, it's been delayed by a year.
Well, it was worth it.
Yeah, was it? You did this, Jay.
So Prospero has allocated out 2 to that Retaliator.
Yeah.
Gives 2 to the Liberator.
Yeah, I think that Liberator's going to try and beat himself an angel to death. Robots beating angels. War Machine. That poor Rayless Interceptor's like, I wish I could shoot all of these really great guns I have, but the windstorm from the Ice Wizard says I can't.
Correct.
Ice Wizards fighting tanks.
So, how are you feeling about the match now that we are at the start of round 3?
The problem is Brandon is going to have a tough time applying any considerable pressure. Not being able to charge, big deal. Not being able to shoot, huge deal. We knew it would be. His jacks are in an okay position to get a little bit of work done, but like... And Brandon is getting clarification right now that he can't give or receive orders. So he can't charge. I mean, if he can drop the 2 Morrowind Archons with some attacks and some lights beating on them, maybe he's okay, but I think he has to weather the feat. And this is what a good denial feat does for a turn. It just kind of time walks you.
So one of them was outside the feat, and so he's going to charge.
I guess the unit leader was not in feat because you can't give or receive orders. So if the unit leader was in feat, you can't give the order.
Right. So just for clarification, Brandon is going on the top of round 3 right now.
Yeah, he is saying charges, so they must have measured it. The unit leader must have been out of feat.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess some of the steelheads getting to charge is kind of a big deal.
Sure. Especially since they have a better to hit on the charge.
Yes. Going in on Gabriel Throne first. Hits.
Off 5 on this. Does 7.
It's not bad to start.
4-man CRA onto the Archon.
Yeah. CMA.
Up to an 11, need a 5 to hit. Gets it.
Vision.
Vision triggered.
Yeah. So now that Jack is in a position to begin beating the Archon to death. Get out the sky. Come down here. I got this robot weapon.
Prospero's going now.
Ooh, what's he doing? Gonna hop the wall?
It's okay, buddy. Needs a 9 to hit on this range attack.
Gets it with Prospero?
Boost damage. 4 damage on that Archon. And he's repoing up onto the flag.
Okay. And then maybe not?
Yeah. He's like, no, that's a bad idea.
Yeah. I don't want it. So he got 7 on Gabriel Throne and 4 on the Midnight Archon in the bottom zone so far.
And got rid of vision.
And got rid of vision. So it looks like the Dragon's Breath rocket is aiming and shooting at the Archon in the cloud at the top. And it misses. It's going to deviate to
3 inches back.
They're checking to see how many of the Risen got hit. It didn't clip the Angel.
Right. Tony, we have a camera emergency on the dice.
The dice tray has been wiggled. Dice tray's being wiggled. Good guy Tony saving the day. How excited are you to also commentate the third and final match with me?
That'll be awesome.
Because I hope it happens in time that I don't have to be on a plane.
I also hope this.
There is a reality where I'm not on the finals because I have to go jump on a plane, and it's you and someone.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know that
You and Brian?
Omnis has said that
He would do it?
he would do it.
Yeah. We always get that back up? Brian would be delightful.
Omnis is never a backup for me.
Brian would be delightful to have on stream.
No.
Here we see the Light is fighting the Midnight Archon at the bottom, buying some additional attacks. And manages to not get the job done. Midnight Archon survives.
8 hit points left on it currently.
Oh, that's on the top one.
Suppressor's going now. It's like, I've got this, boss.
Yeah, so the light couldn't get the job done. Let's see if the heavy can get the job done. Everybody at home, I want you to sing the theme song.
It's boosting.
Robots fighting angels.
Hits. Dice off 6, boosting damage. Does 4 points and kills that Archon.
Robots killing angels.
There's 8 boxes left.
So we see another light going into the Midnight Archon,
Seems
Moron
like
Archon at the top.
He didn't do his dual attack sprays.
He may not have had anything else to spray. I guess he
Could have gone for that Archon, couldn't he?
Could have gone for the Archon, sure. So he's got a hit.
4 damage.
The light does 4 damage on its first swing.
Has 4 left.
Yep, second swing.
Buying an attack.
Misses.
Missed.
Oh, good point from Twitch chat. Thank you very much. You asked why he didn't spray. It's because he can't make ranged attacks right now because of feats.
Minor details. There would be that, I guess.
You're supposed to be MLW Pro.
Oh, I thought I was a has-been.
No. Whenever in any kind of sport has a has-been on commentary?
Oh, you cut me to the core.
This job is fun.
I'll just tell myself I'm the Tony Romo of commentary.
All right. Can I be the Drew Brees? So Trancer has walked up where he can see Savio, but not the Archon. Takes 80 mental forces for some damage.
And Savio dodges.
He misses Savio.
Yep.
Savio gets to dodge.
I couldn't tell if he did mental force or not.
He did because he rolled 3 dice.
Okay. I just saw 2 of them.
Oh.
He's not going to attack.
He's not going to riposte with Savio.
Takes 3 damage.
Yep.
Yeah, would have. He opts to not do it because if he hits, it will explode and potentially kill Savio, which is a sad time.
Yes.
It's a technical term.
Yes. MLW technical term, sad times.
So he's turning his back to his battle engine, and the battle engine is going to likely try to kill his own model.
Well, yeah. He needs to contest the flag. Step one.
Sure.
Whoa!
Got a man down.
Game state. Angel down.
Needs a 7. And then he's repositioning 3 up to contest. Don't mind Hungerford dying on the stream.
I pulled my headset off and like held it far away from me. I had to sneeze. And I did not want to sneeze in people's ears. So, wait, did the tank not activate?
I think it was going to take a free strike if it went up to reposition in there.
Oh.
And so it has not.
Okay, so we hear Silvestro does use Impenetrable Haze, so he's got super stealth again.
And he's behind the forest there.
Okay, so Alice is activating. It looks like she's just going to run.
Rhapsody K says also, what time's the finals? Honestly, that just depends on when these 2 matches finish.
Yep. So we've got this game and the game on the next table happening. When they're done, we will go on to the winner of this game versus the winner of the game happening on the table directly next to them. The game of elves versus angels and robots versus angels. I guess technically elvish robots versus angels.
I mean, if Brandon wins, there are no angels in his list. Then it would be Tinks.
If Brandon wins and Rhett wins, then it's robots versus elves.
Okay.
Yeah. So both players score
Each player
1.
is scoring 1, and it's going to the bottom of turn 3 now.
Yep. Score is now 1-3, or 1-2. Savio is activating first. He is attacking the train. He is a trained knight who grabs his sword and fights a train with it. He does some damage.
Cleaning up the table now. Zerkova gets healed up to full
Yep.
from the objective. He wants to kill the suppressor and train, and then Matt feels like he'll be in a pretty good spot if he manages to do that.
Yep. Tony has returned to his position. And Tony, we would like to let you know that Brandon Owens scored 1 CP and Matt McWater scored 1 CP, making the score 1-2 at the bottom of 3.
Did you have some sort of update you went to check on, Tony? So you do have the score correct. That's looking good.
Yeah. Okay.
Currently round 3 on the other table with Ben Beckman at 1 control point to 0 from Marc Andre.
Sure. So both these games are about at the same spot.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah.
Dang near.
So Crate 98 says that these tables need a little bit more deep water.
Deep water.
Yeah.
Deep water isn't a thing anymore.
Going in the way back. Well, they also said that it needs more hills.
Hills are also not a thing anymore.
So basically, the Iron Kingdoms is Florida. which explains a lot because there's a lot of Florida man in the characters in the fluff.
Sure.
Just throwing that out there.
All right. You are Epic Fluff Bunny, so you would know better than me.
That's true.
We had a good fluff talk the other night in the car.
Oh, yeah?
The fluff conversation we had. We were driving to the restaurant.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what you're talking about with the fluff sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. All right, so Thamorite Archon, I think, is figuring out where he wants to go to do maximum damage.
Maximum carnage.
That's a lot of damage.
Trying to go into the back arcs.
Yeah, gets D3 shots. 2. Going to shoot a steelhead in the back of his neck.
I think that would hurt.
Clips him. He'll do Eruption of Ash. So
we're seeing some Steelhead withering under the Eruption of Ash.
Then it's dice off 5 with 1 die because of the alchemical treatment on the jack, because it is damage type fire.
Yeah.
He's going to shoot a Death Driver into the Steelhead closest to him, which hits, kills him, walks into the back of the nearest guy. He actually misses that guy, but then he's dead. And this is just a field promotion. I see in Twitch chat the hashtag Deepwater Hills 2020.
Okay. Sounds like a fun map to play on. I just lied.
The whole table is nothing but hills and deep water.
Sounds like almost as much fun as playing on the whole table being forest, with me playing Tharn, and you not.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Is that a thing that happened with you?
No.
Oh.
Well, I do have some mental scars from playing Iona.
Pre-nerf.
Pre-nerf.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry we scarred you, Jay.
Well,
but at the same time, for all the dank Dune memes and some of the dinners we've enjoyed, I don't feel bad. His Hermit walks up to get in position to do cool things. Gabriel Throne is now going to activate and probably try and... Oh, he's going to stir the blood on the Precursor Knights and then probably just fight a couple of Steelheads down there.
Doing a mount attack.
Yeah. Using the mount attack. It's not exactly what Matt said, but we knew what he meant.
Exactly what he said.
A horse kills the first guy.
I think he did a sword attack on that one.
Oh, that was a sword attack.
Changed his mind. Now he's repositioning.
Far. Gallant's going to get in there.
Get some.
Break his Gabriel model. Gallant accumulators. Walks up. Swords the guy to the left side. Cuts him in half. Misses with the punch. Buys a sword. Cuts that guy into twain.
Rolling 3 dice because transmutation was up on the Steelhead Halberdiers.
Yeah.
And so gaining some extra dice on that.
Yep. So the Precursor Knights are now going to charge the Suppressor. Looks like the Standard and the Officer going to run. A pair of Mat 8s coming in.
So Captain Ron says, sounds like it's time for another meme. And Lord Rourke says, it's meme o'clock.
What is there? Is there a club? Is there like a secret chat group?
So in this meme,
Oh, God.
this is the meme where the boyfriend or husband is laying in bed on his side, contemplating, and
She's wondering what he's thinking.
she's wondering over what he's thinking. Mm-hmm. And so he's probably thinking about another woman. Mm-hmm. And him, why did Paul have to wander into the desert alone at the end of Dune Messiah?
That's it? That's the whole meme?
That's the whole meme.
Oh, man. That one was not dank.
I'm sorry to have let you down.
That is an actual thing that just happens.
$18 left on the
tank. Yep. All right.
Savia's going in. Hits on the first one.
These are dice off 6
Dice
attacks.
off 6. Does
Okay.
5 points.
And then he has that second initial, which also going to
Hits.
clip.
$7 boxes left after that 6 damage.
Nice. Nice. Well played, Savio. Punch a tank with your swords, little man. It looks like a Thrall warrior is coming in. Not a charge. It's dice off 9, so he needs a 15.
15 to kill.
Boy, how about nothing?
How about 0?
Also, he hits Silvestro with one of the dies on the way in, just to really let him know who's boss.
Luckily, he's going to go ahead and take over this flag like a boss.
Uh-huh.
I think she might be doing a Hellfire onto the tank now. Use a 12 to kill. Has 1 box left at this point.
Yes, the Ice Wizard uses Hellfire to make a tank almost be destroyed. Oh no, this was Alexia.
It's Alexia.
Come on. Sorry.
Come on.
Sorry, the Necromancer used Hellfire to almost destroy a tank.
Yes.
My bad. I didn't mean to ruin the narrative.
Walking up 7 with the
Yeah, the Thamurite Archon.
Thamurite Archon.
He gets one
shot.
He only needs 1 shot.
Needs a 6.
And the Archer Angel comes in and shoots an arrow into a tank and blows it up.
So I'm willing to officially say at this point that things are looking pretty good for Matt.
He has made a very good comeback after losing so much of his force to that initial feat tearing from Silvestro.
Matt declares he's just going to be good at the game.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben Beckman has won his match.
Wow, congrats to Ben Beckman. So taking out Mark, who we saw on the last stream. That means in the finals, it's going to be Retribution versus one of these two lists.
Currently looking like there's a good chance it's going to be Kador.
Could be. Retribution versus Kador. The classic.
Classic matchup.
Since 2003.
I remember once back in the day, there was a podcast called Chain Attack.
Yeah.
Who loved making jokes about how awful Retribution was.
Yeah, and look at him now.
Look at him now.
Look at Chain Attack now.
They've all grown up.
Now they're doing commentary with... Now they've sold out.
Well...
Go on.
Now we get to do Dank Doom memes. So.
Oh, sure. Just blaming everything on your Dank Doom memes.
No, I'm saying that's like the only redeeming factor of our podcast now.
No, Josh is on there.
That's true. That's true. I'm a little offended you didn't call him by his official title at this point.
Councilman Wheeler?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So what we see here, by the way, is that the Morrowind Archon is fighting the Suppressor. Looks like just got a pretty solid charge in there. Lord Work says, this doesn't look like Khador. I assure you, it is. It's Khador 2019. It's Modern Alliance Khador. Zerkova's leading the charge. She's super Khador. She's just asked for a bit of help. And you know what? It's funny that it's Zerkova, because you remember Mark II Theme Force was Zerkova, where she could take Vanguards?
Yeah.
It's like Zerkova was one of the originals that would work with other models from outside of Khador. She's kind of had that for a while. And here she is now.
It is kind of funny that. So let me throw out a little fluff on you, Will.
Throw out a little fluff on me, Jay.
So Zerkova
Yeah.
has a bunch of Orgoth artifacts that she uses
Yes.
to give her sweet abilities.
Yeah.
And the Orgoth
Yeah.
were part of the reason why they were sweeping across the world.
Yes.
Was their own infernal pact with a different sect of infernals.
Correct. Which, if anybody reads Oblivion, you'll find all this out. Like, all this information's in Oblivion.
So it's somewhat interesting that Zerkova is using powers from a different infernal faction
To fight.
to fight the Nanocrian Order.
Correct. Yeah. There's a lot going on right now, right? And
There is.
It's kind of a cool storyline.
So we're on turn 4. They scored. Matt scored 2 points.
Yeah.
And it's looking like Brandon is up to. So it's going to be 4 points to 2 points, I believe, now.
Did he get the flag, or is there anything they're contesting?
Can you go ahead and do the top-down view?
Here you go. Boop.
They had a. Maybe they moved it. They had a turn marker that looked like
Oh, I see it.
Brandon had marked it as having.
I'm pretty sure the
2.
score is 4-2. Because I don't see any models of Matt's that would be contesting that bottom flag.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
All right, let's get back to our regular view. Also, if I go to the player view, no, that one. We can see on the right our
The victorious Ben Beckman.
Yeah, there is Ben in his WTC jersey, talking to his opponent, Mark.
Ben is a German player who is over living in Ohio for work and just crushing all over the U.S. meta.
Yeah, and
Going
clearly
to Godzilla.
he's doing it here as well. So we're going to have, I guess, we're going to say this is going to be Germany versus either America or Canada in the finals.
Germany versus Canada seems likely.
Yeah, but it could be Germany versus America.
It could.
And I don't know about you, but USA.
Okay.
Jay.
I like the Germans.
I like everybody. I was just, chanting for, the good old America.
America.
Yeah. Probably gonna lose to Canada in this game. Tanks and Angels.
So one thing that we can do a little illustration right here, something I like that Matt did that was good. It seems like, so right here is where he moved his caster back to. It's getting to the point where it's not looking great that Brandon is going to be able to do attrition plays to catch up on this, which means that some of his best options are likely trying to go for an assassination.
Yes.
And Al has done harmonious onto the
Silvestro.
caster, but his Silvestro can sometimes get some surprising long odds dice off, and it's kind of a situation where maybe a 10 or 20% assassination run is your best chance to win, and you just go
Yeah,
for
you
it.
just do it, right?
And sometimes you're Jason Watt, and you lose in the second round of the Invitational because someone went for that and got it.
That's what happened. He had that game wrapped up, right? And then 15 seconds left on his opponent's clock, and just boop. Excuse me while I roll all these boxcars. I'm sorry, boxcars.
Okay, so Crate 98 makes a good point that poutine is amazing.
Poutine is amazing.
And so in this instance, I might have to vote or root for Canada over Germany.
Huh. But German food is really good.
Is it? What do you love this German?
All of it, like all the brats. Sauerkraut tastes great. All of their beer.
Yeah, I don't like beer.
You wouldn't.
Yeah.
I love. Of course, I'm a Cajun boy. Of course, I love beer.
Of course you do. Hamburgers. I do love hamburgers.
Yep. Canada does make good poutine, and
Cooking is Bravo says German food is better than poutine. I mean, I'm trying to think what's on my list of things that's better than poutine.
oh, lots of gumbo. Right. So, but this is Prospero. Looks like he was aiming, taking a shot. I imagine it's going at the Angel up top. Hits it, boost damage.
Takes it out.
Goodbye, Angel. Then he's going to repo onto the flag. Here I am. Rock you like a hurricane.
One of the issues I think that Brandon has is that
The bottom zone is currently flanked by a Thamorite Angel, a Gabriel Throne, and Gallant.
yeah, I mean basically Gallant is untouched at this point, and
Well, here comes a transfer. Remember, Gabriel Throne took 7 earlier in the game.
yeah,
So transfer's going to charge into a ditch.
try to knock them both down.
Yeah.
Check to make sure that he can charge into the back arc without getting a free strike. It's looking good.
The answer is yes.
Doing a mental force, taking damage at the end of activation. It hits. It's going to slam. Gabriel thrown in. Gabriel throne's going to die. And then Gallant.
So this is a 14, basically super slam damage on Gabriel Throne, which just
Super
annihilates
dead.
him.
Would have liked that die roll later.
Then he's going to repo
Repo up.
into the zone.
Didn't look like he did a damage roll on Gallant.
Yep, he didn't, which you can't not. So we'll see if that gets corrected. I'm going to go fix it.
Hungerford makes the pro judge call and goes up and reminds them to do the slam damage onto Gallant. No
Okay.
damage.
They went and resolved it, but I had to go, like, that's not optional. You have to resolve it. And it was actually dice off 9. Like, it could have mattered. Because the Hermit's right there.
Yeah. Spraying the spray of rust on Gallant.
Okay.
The
Yep, Rust lands. The first one missed. The second spray of Rust landed. So then,
punching with the good arm.
yeah, this is the suppressor spraying down Gallant and then punching the Precursor Knight next to him.
So he's got one arm weapon system that was out and one that was good. So he tried spraying initially with his
One die. Yeah.
and missed, and then the 2-die one ended up hitting.
So
The
Silvestro,
Liberator's getting transmute.
yeah, he cast Silvestro cast transmutation through the Liberator onto itself.
And he takes a point of arc node damage.
Yup. And then where's Silvestro going to go stand? Because you got to stay safe from all this nonsense. He's going to use
Puts out another cloud.
Yep. The haze. All right, the Liberator's going in. You've got a Rust effect and a Hermit effect on Gallant, dropping his armor significantly. It's dice plus one auto hitting.
He's ignoring the shield with this weapon. So no damage on the shield.
Yeah.
Buying first to 3 focus. 9 damage to the 5.
Yeah.
Buying again. +1. Rolling above average is a good way to win the game. Gets it done.
Does 998 with all the auto hits from it being knocked down.
So there's going to be... Matt's now looking at Alexia and 2 Thamorite Archons are the main...
More importantly, Brandon took the Southern Zone.
Yeah. Though I'm not sure if he has a unit in there currently.
No, that's Jack's.
Oh, yeah. Dup.
Which he definitely has a Jack.
He definitely has a Jack in there.
Dragon's Breath Rocket is going to...
Can't tell if he got anything up contesting that flag. I'm currently guessing no.
Doesn't look like it.
He has gotten down to a concerning amount of time. If he's expeditious, I think he can be okay.
Thing is, Alexia's in that cloud, so I have a feeling the light's going to charge Alexia in the cloud because they can see her because she's standing in it and then get next to the flag. You can also stand in the zone as well and be in contest range, and that's very big. Ties the CP score up. Yep. Right. This is what's about to happen here.
Charging in.
Yep. Going in Alexia. That way it's contesting no matter what it does to Alexia. Going to boost a hitter.
Needs a 9. Gets it. PAL 13. Off 3 is going to do 4. Buying. Need a 9 to hit. Misses.
Yeah.
Halberdier's running.
The lone halberdier.
Do-do-do-do.
Do-do-do-do-do. Meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Yep. So
It's going to be 4-4, and now it's going to the bottom of round 4.
Yep. And we're tied up.
Matt's checking the defensive stats on Prospero.
Yeah, because the Jack that's up in the zone is the one on Prospero. So if Prospero dies, then it goes inert.
Up here, this Retaliator is the one that is being controlled by Prospero. He's looking to kill Prospero, which will make that Retaliator go inert.
Yep, which just gives him the zone back if he can clear out the Steelhead, which...
seems likely.
You know, I don't know if Alexia, a couple Thralls, a Thamorite Archon, and Savio Acosta can deal with the 13-13 1 damage box Steelhead. I'm going to say yes.
Did the Lancer die at some point that I missed?
No, the Lancer.
Oh, the Lancer is right there.
It's right behind that Thrall at the top.
Okay, so right there is the Lancer.
Yeah, man.
So it can be scoring that zone.
All right, so I think
Brandon did do a good job fighting back, I thought.
Yeah.
Killing the Gallant was fantastic. But
it may be a little too late.
Yeah, it does feel like he's potentially going to have a collapsing flank over there potentially, which could be an issue for him.
So Thamrite Archon walks up, shoots at Prospero.
Gets a 3
hits.
on his shots for super duper fun.
Yeah. Maximum fun. First shot hits. Prospero has no focus on him. Just
Straight dice. 5 damage, 3 hit points left. Hits, needs a 3 to kill.
So-
And the other Jack goes inert. Asafal's immune to fire, and she is not.
So third shot is going in to Alice, and that will go to
Miss,
reroll.
going to reroll with his ability. That'll hit. Alice transforms into Big Alice. So Crate 98 says inert Jacks can't contest. Correct.
That is
And
correct.
That is correct. So Matt just needs to kill that still head up there. And then he's going to be able to score that zone. He already can score the flag.
Yes. He just has to put. Well, he can score his own flag. He's not going to be able to score that bottom one unless he clears out the Hermit, which takes a little bit. So I think the Lancer's going to go in first and try and punch the steel head out of the zone. Boosting to hit. He gave it 3 focus. It's just dead.
Alrighty then.
He gave it 2 focus. It powered up for 1.
Yeah.
So the top zone completely controlled by Matt. So Acosta is charging.
Charging the suppressor.
Yep.
Good chance he might scrap it with this
Yeah.
activation.
Weapon Master
Off
charges
3.
hurt.
Oh. 16 points of damage. The charge gets it out.
Savio just runs over and just clips a robot off of the knees.
Thamrite Archon hasn't gone yet.
No.
The
The
upper,
one, the upper,
the
one, up
upper
top.
one.
Yep. Alexia picked up a corpse from that steel head. She had one previously, so she's going to make a pair
Might
of risen.
go into the objective, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I would assume so.
And then probably reposition back onto the flag.
And we hear Matt say, I repo back to the flag. It's almost like you called it right before it happened.
Almost. One thing that's fun about this is
All right, Alice is going to countercharge the Thrall as it goes into the objective.
it's dead. It's
yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
I called it again. I can see
Yeah.
the future.
Yeah. So now the second Thrall, he's deciding.
So now is Alice going to get charged?
So the Thamrite Archon is actually going to activate before that other Thrall. She's going to flutter her wings, its wings, over. It gets 3 shots.
Doing Death Driver. Anyways, as I was saying, one of the things that I'm a little bit excited about is that I actually own all of the models in this Zerkova list.
Yeah,
And it might be a little bit fun to take for a little test spin.
I agree. Looks like a fun list to play. So he hit, damaged, Snake Eyes the last roll, leaving Big Alice alive. So here comes the Thrall to try and roll a 7 to hit and finish off Big Alice.
Just putting the boot
Oof.
on the attrition play. And
The tough check here.
nope. Wiping out some of the options that Brandon has.
Nah, yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
I'm kind of expecting to see Zerkova scooch behind the caster bunker.
Yep. She's still there. They did shuffle the terrain around,
Oh, okay.
the official event organizers.
Hermit runs into the zone.
Okay. Within 4 of the flag. The Precursor Knight is going to charge the objective while the Standard runs over into the zone.
Get some contesting going on. Dice off 6 does 10.
Just roll a 16.
Roll of a 16. I believe that Matt McMatt believes in the Just Roll Better school of Hungerford War Machine.
Yep. And the last thing we hear Matt say is, oh, wait, Zerkova can still go.
Iris of Holyhawk says, Shame J only has limited prescience. I'll have you know that if I eat enough spice, I am also able to see the golden path and the future.
Spice, huh?
Yep.
Is that Chang's lo mein? Is that your spice?
It's worm doo-doo.
Oh, don't eat that. That has really negative effects on your health. Matt is figuring out what the heck he wants to do with his Zerkova. He's going to walk up and throw a range 15 Hex Blast at the Trancer in a trench.
Just rolling a 10, because that's what you do when you're Matt McMatt.
Sure. Boom. Trancer down.
I'm a little surprised that he actually did that.
Mm-hmm. Time goes back.
He's got a big enough of an attrition advantage. I think I would have just moved behind the wall and camped the focus.
Matt scores 2, going to 6 to Brandon's 4. Brandon not scoring anything that turn.
And we go now to the top of round 5.
And what will likely be the last round of the game.
I could see it maybe go another round.
You think so? Possibly. Possibly. I guess we'll just have to all watch and find out.
So there's no souls on Alexia, which means she cannot Arcane Vortex.
I mean, what threat ranges does he have here that could possibly get to Zerkova, though?
So his caster would have to charge
a Precursor Knight.
A Precursor Knight.
But what does he have that still lets him that would have range to hurt?
I think that's probably outside range on the Stygian Abyss. Objective is healing itself.
Sure. Maybe. I mean, he could trust his own objective, so maybe if he just goes straight.
Did you just say that he could charge his own model?
No, through his own objective. Yeah. So he can just kind of go in a straight line.
So using the pro illustration here, he would be
like if he just goes kind of
coming in through here,
yeah,
and have his facing going that way, facing that way.
And the question is
then is that going to be?
It seems long.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hermit's going to walk up and do Master of Ruin. Sylvestro camping everything, obviously. Yeah, I just don't think he's got an actual angle on her.
I mean, I wouldn't be going back to the illustration. So if he's able to charge to his edge of his base being roughly here-ish.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah, let's
he's definitely not doing
that. So
we ain't got to worry about it.
Doesn't matter. He's going to do a free Stygian Abyss on the Thamrite Archon with the Master of Ruin. Try to get it removed, but Zerkova has Spell Ward anyway, so super not going to do it.
That's 100% true. Well, he walks up.
Sacred Ward, one of these anti-spell things for enemies.
You know, Stygian Abyss is the Thamrite Archon off the bottom. I mean, this is. I don't think there's any way back from this. Yeah.
I don't know what he's going to get up to contest.
Okay, so the Dragon's Breath rocket is
rocket.
fire at the He's going to fire at the standard bearer. Oh, he's going to shoot he's going to shoot the little gun off the grunt at the hermit. Does a point to him.
3 boxes left. Hits the hermit. Kills the precursor flag.
So Liberator walks over into the hermit's back. He's only got 2 health left. Punches him with the shield. Does a point, and then hits him with the,
Takes out his hermit. So now they're each going to score 2 points.
Yep, so the score goes 6 on Brandon, 8 on Matt. Bottom of 6.
So basically, all that Matt needs to do is contest that flag and zone, kill the objective, and he'll win the game.
Yes.
Three left on that hermit. Full health on the other jack. Don't know why that matters.
Yeah, I literally think you just have Savio turn, take out the objective, then one of your...
Or the Archon or
any
whoever,
other. And then the other person just runs into the zone right by the flag. So now the objective's got 2 boxes left. Savio goes. He punches it, auto hits it, Weapon Master kills it. That's 1 CP for Matt, putting him up to 9. And now Matt runs something into the zone within range of the flag, and he's got it. And that's game.
Except he seems to want to kill more models for reasons. He's currently talking about killing the Dragon Breath Rocket and killing the Hermit.
He obviously doesn't see it. Okay.
Need a 6, gets it. Kills it.
So, I mean, Matt still has models that can get there.
Yeah. Thamrat Archon is aiming and shooting. Gets 3 shots. Doing a Death Driver.
So, okay, he aimed, got 3 shots, Death Driver, killed the Dragon's Breath Rocket grunt. He walks into the back of the...
Isn't in range.
Okay.
Second shot going into the Hermit.
Yep.
It's now left with 1 point.
Okay. So
Alexia goes up and does a Hellfire on the Hermit.
Hermit's dead.
Kills the Hermit.
She
goes on
back on the flag. So right now, all that's left on Brandon's side is Silvestro, the Liberator, and what's that one little model up there? I can't make it out.
Lancer.
No, on Brandon's side. The one that's above Silvestro. I ain't worried about it. A dude. That might be a Trancer.
No, that is one of the... It just charged in. It's one of the...
Oh, that's a
Thrall Warrior.
So, yeah, Brandon has 2 models left, Jack and Silvestro. Oh, that was Savio's Righteous Vengeance that went off.
Oh, okay, yeah. Savio's charging Silvestro? As one does.
Matt? He misses him? He gets a reroll.
Does get a reroll.
He hits him.
Dice off 2.
So just 16 damage,
That's
takes
going to
11.
do 11 after he spends the focus.
Makes his
As
second
one
attack.
does.
Hits.
Second attack hits.
Is this just going to end in assassination?
Takes 2. Okay, so now the PK runs and all of this was for nothing, really, but adds a little drama.
Sure, I guess Matt's just fighting things for the sake of fighting things. Like, the game is over.
I'm not sure if he realizes that yet. I don't think he realizes that he scored off the flag, or off the objective.
No. Yeah. Yeah, they're just now realizing that Matt wins. Hold on, I'll go help him.
And now they realize that the game is over.
Hold on. Let me. So they literally didn't realize that Matt had won.
Yes.
They looked at it and had to talk about it, and then realized they had forgotten to give him the point for the objective, and that's why Matt was still going.
Right.
He had no idea the game was over. So hey,
it's a little bit easier as watching to.
We were talking about assassinations on Zerkova via spells earlier, so stuff happens.
Yeah,
Matt had that
absolutely.
game won for 5 minutes, and both players and the judge kind of had to recount and go, "Oh yeah, no, this is done." So, well, everyone, thanks for joining us. Congrats to Matt McWaters. We will be back very, very soon. For
both games are done now.
Both games are done, so players are going to reset. We'll get everyone situated. Probably maybe 20, 30 minutes from now at most, we'll be back here for the War Machine Weekend Invitational Finals. Kador versus Retribution. Canada versus Germany. Be me and Jay. We'll get it done. We'll see you then.
Looking forward to it.